you decided to call Mr. Depp an idiot?
Under somebody call Mr. Depp an idiot?
Yeah, you called Mr. Depp an idiot in your deposition. Why?
Okay. So I think it was in the context. I think it was in the. You probably should read the context of it. And I'm trying to think back. I'm thinking back. So you have it in front of you. I don't. So I'm thinking back where he's coming in from Europe for a deposition, video deposition that he gave, and he took an overnight the night before. And what I think I said was that if you're going to do a major thing to a trial that you're involved with, I think you'd be an idiot to come in the night before.
All right.
So I didn't call Mr. Depp an idiot. I certainly called that planning an idiot. I didn't call him an idiot.
So I mean he's an idiot or mistranscribed?
No, I'm sure. Again, if I said it in that, if you're just reading one line, one snippet, I'm sure it was in the context I just said. But again, you have it in front of you. I don't.
Yeah. Is idiot a professional opinion?
I wasn't rendering professional opinion.
Yeah.
No.
Is it a psychiatric opinion?
And that follows the Goldwater rule.
How does it follow the?
Well, you just said that I'm not rendering a professional opinion. I just said idiot. That's not a.
No, so idiot is not a professional opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Is it your practice to describe people as idiots?
My practice to describe people. In my practice? No, I don't describe people my clinical cases as idiots or patients as idiots or victims as idiots. No, sir.
Some evaluations you made relative to his functioning. You would agree with me that it's probably a good idea to think about the questions that are asked you in a court proceeding before answering them.
Am I allowed to answer that question?
Yes.
I'm sorry, what?
On the manner in which he testified.
On the manner, I'm sorry, I'm not being difficult. I can't hear. I'm sorry. On what? And professionally, we diagnose patients with a neurocognitive disorder by gross evaluation all the time with cognitive. On the thought that, again, age normal controls. I'm just saying, age normative controls does not put a 58-year-old gentleman at that processing. That's all I'm saying.
Never once talking to the man.
Me directly talking to him. Because we know how I derived it. So you're talking about me directly talking to him?
Yeah, you never talked.
No, I've never talked to him.
Scored on a 30-point scale, right?
Yes.
All right. Or whether the drawing should have been fully scored.
I wasn't questioning his visual, spatial, perceptual skills, which is what that does.
Right. And you don't know what score Mr. Depp received on the exam. 3 words, not remembering 5 minutes, and he remembered one of them, right?
From what I understand, he didn't remember any of them.
All right. Memory on the exam, out of the 30 points, what's it worth? 3. 3, right? Memory is 3 out of the 30.
Yeah, memory is 3.
Okay.
But again, the memory section in and of itself tests memory. That's the only question that tests memory. Only section that actually tests memory.
So the memory section tests memory. It's the only section you testified about. And for all you know, that with respect to the exam that you're relying on, Mr. Depp scored 27 out of 30.
And that would be telling, though, cognitive, if you score 27 out of 30 and you miss 3 points on memory. That would be very telling.
You don't know if Mr. Depp had been up all night the night before.
Again, you wouldn't expect to not recall any words at 3 minutes unless there's a cognitive issue.
You don't know if Mr. Depp was high.
And again, now that could affect memory, but I'm not refuting that. I'm not refuting that at all. He could have been high, he could have been drunk, he could have been using cocaine, and that would absolutely affect his memory, which is what I said. Yes, you're right.
So ultimately, you have no idea what state Mr. Depp was in at the time he took the exam that you're relying on.
But an answer.
But wait a minute. You started that question with short of drugs and alcohol, and spent 35 minutes talking about his use of drugs and alcohol. Isn't that right?
Which is what we do in clinical medicine, sir.
Okay. You rely on tests that you don't know when it was administered, you don't know the score of the test, and you don't know the state of the person being tested, but you're going to rely on it anyway.
Oh, sure. Again, you are saying different than what I said. Two different things, because there are surely people who use
generally, and you wanted me to talk about the disorder. I'm MDMA. What if you took 8 to 10 tablets of MDMA?
What if you took you can't just say, hey, let me just take 8 to 10 pure ecstasy and see what happens. That's not going to happen. So what I would say to you, again, because substance abuse are unpredictable, they are not regulated, no one knows what they're going to. No one absolutely has any idea. Increase, it's like a stimulant, like cocaine and something we talked about like that. Have I ever heard of it?
Yeah.
No, I can only give you one example.
Hadn't seen that one before. Okay.
Disorders, when in fact, we absolutely know it has street value. We absolutely know that for a fact.
I'm just wondering why your testimony was in any way tied to street value when every single drug you referenced, Mr. Depp had legally.
Again, I shouldn't be asking that. We can have prescription substance use disorders, and that's not uncommon if you look at the opiate epidemic that we're living in right now. We can have that. That's not an uncommon thing. Unfortunate, but uncommon. Not uncommon. But I'm not sure at the end of the day if she'd have vomitus over you either, because I've never seen Cerebral do that. So when he was passed out in the chair, he also had vomitus over him. I've never seen Cerebral do that ever.
Neurontin is another one of the drugs you testified about. That one's also.
Well, yeah, I mean, sure, 100%.
Right. And you made reference to a picture. There's been testimony around that picture that Mr. Depp fell asleep with ice cream in his hand. That's not vomitous, right?
I was told it was vomitous.
Okay. Did you read the testimony of Mr. Wyatt, who told you what was being pumped into that earpiece?
Yeah, I mean, if I remember right, I mean, I think it was lines, right?
No, it was music.
It was music, not his lines?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, if you can do two things at once, that's a pretty high cognitive function, isn't it, sir?
You know, it's a very good point, actually. Divided attention is something humans have a lot of trouble in. Yeah. So, for instance, we have trouble driving and putting on using our cell phones and direct. So, divided attention, humans actually are not very good at. I'll put that out there.
But
in general, not just Mr. Depp, in general.
But Mr. Depp is pretty good at acting. You acknowledged that early on.
Absolutely. Well, better than me, so I know that.
Because you don't act. In fact, you don't know about acting.
You're right. I have no idea about acting.
And you don't give lectures. You wouldn't use an earpiece, but you're not going to tell anybody how to act.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Comfortable with the fact that you may have made a mistake there? Found hard to believe, sir, was that every line of the script was pumped through an earpiece. Where did you ever get the idea that occurred?
That's what that's what I read in the court review.
Whether Marlon Brando used an earpiece?
Isn't he dead?
Yeah.
So the answer is no, he does not use one now.
Oh, no, I used the past tense. Let's go with that. No further questions.
All right. How long is...